Martin Luther King Jr. His occupation was a civil rights leader. He was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. He died April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee, best known for advancing the civil rights movement and his "I Have a Dream" speech. One of Martin Luther King's I have two quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Our second quote: "Our lives begin to the end of the day we become silent about the things that matter."
Hi, I'm Ella Colley, and today I'm going to be reading about Martin Luther King Jr., not Martin. This is his biography. Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 1960s. He led a nonviolent protest to fight for the rights of people, including African Americans. He hoped that America and the world could become a colorblind society where race would not impact a person's civil rights. He is considered one of the great orators of modern times, and his speeches still inspire many to this day. Where did Martin grow up? Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15th, 1929. He went to Booker T. Washington High School. He was so smart that he skipped 2 grades in high school. He started his college education at Morehouse College at the young age of 15. After getting his degree in sociology at Morehouse, Martin got a divinity degree from Crozer Seminary and then got his doctor's degree in theology from Boston University. Martin's dad was a preacher, which inspired Martin to pursue the ministry. He had a younger brother and an older sister. In 1953, he married Coretta Scott. Later, they would have 4 children, including Yolanda, Martin, Dexter, and Bernice. That's all. Cut!
In Martin's first major civil rights action, Martin Luther King Jr. led the Montgomery bus boycott. This started when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man. She was arrested and spent the night in jail. As a result, Martin helped to organize a boycott to the public. Transportation system in Montgomery, the boycott lasted for over a year. It was very tense at times. Martin was arrested and his house was bombed. In the end, however, Martin prevailed in segregation and the Montgomery buses came to an end. I have one more quote. Very famous man. I'm telling you, I love this man. If you can't fly, If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. If you can't crawl, then by all means, keep moving forward.
In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. helped to organize the famous March of Washington. Over 250,000 people attended this march in an effort to show the importance of civil rights legislation. Some of the issues the march hoped to accomplish included an end to segregation in public, schools protection from police abuse, and to get laws passed that would prevent discrimination in employment. It was at this march where Martin gave his "I Have a Dream" speech. This speech had become one of the most famous speeches in history. The March of Washington was a great success. The Civil Rights Act was passed a year later in 1964.
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee, while standing on the balcony of his hotel. He was shot by James Earl Ray. King was the youngest person to be awarded the Nobel Prize in 1964.
There are over 730 streets named after Martin Luther King Jr.
Martin Luther King is most likely recognized by his initials MLK.
One of Martin Luther King's main influences was Mohandas Gandhi, who taught people to protect in a non-violent manner. The name of his original birth certificate is Michael King. This was a mistake, however. He was supposed to be named after his father, who was named for Martin Luther, the leader of the Christian Reformation movement.
I do too much.
Oh, I didn't cut it.